Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo.
Apply today and become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co.
And be sure to add our podcast in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of the application.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 274. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan. Welcome to E3 Robinson.
What's going on, man? We're here. We're finally here.
Can't mince words.
The Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl of video games.
That's right. That's right. We're not going to talk about our weekends. We're not going to talk about the games we've been playing. We're going to get...
I'm not going to talk about, that Super Mario World is the best game of all time, right?
To you,
into that with Dave.
To you, yeah. we've already discussed that. No, we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes. We're already a couple days in. We got a couple conferences down.
Well, to be fair, technically, people started before E3, so it was like pre-E3 announcements.
I mean, yeah, there's that. Leaks and otherwise and everything else and pre-show announcements and all that other junk. So for better or worse, yeah, it's definitely been going on for a while.
All right, so let's try to go in order. This is E3, our E3 coverage show 1. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to have 3 different shows. Right?
Possibly 4, all depending.
How everything goes.
Possibly 4.
We may have 4 different shows.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But let's start with Battlefield 2042. They showed a teaser on Tuesday. We got to see it. More of a trailer. It wasn't any in-game play. I think they're saving that for the Xbox conference. But it's here, and I got to be honest, I'm not for it. It's no single player mode. Come on.
Okay. Let's take a quick step back, because you said no in-game play, but it was in-game footage, right? They were using the engine to put all this together, and one of the big things was there is no single player in this game, which immediately Dan Robinson checks out. All right.
Oh, done. I was done.
Game is beautiful. It looks really cool. It was running really smoothly, even though it wasn't actual gameplay footage. It was scripted within the engine, but looks like there's a lot of vehicle combat and cool things you can do with the vehicles. We'll see how that plays out when it gets shown on the Microsoft stage. But it's kind of really the big thing that I have. Like, how is the gameplay gonna roll out? Right? It's obviously like it's a big multiplayer experience, a sequel to Battlefield 2041. Which came out many years ago. What's
up with their naming, right? We got the Battlefield, what, Bad Company, right? Battlefield 3.
Well,
Battlefield 1,
it
Battlefield
started
2041,
Battlefield
Battlefield
1942,
18,000. Yeah.
Battlefield Vietnam, yeah, Hardline 4, 5, 1, 7, 6. Look,
Yeah,
I don't
it's just-
know.
They keep going around.
Yeah, Dice definitely has a counting problem with all this stuff.
Yeah, they're worse than Microsoft.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
worse than
So
Microsoft naming their Xboxes.
yeah, so I guess hard for you to get excited, right? Even though it did look cool, but
I was super pumped until I saw the trailer and it was like no single player mode, and I was like, I'm out. I was in Mexico,
Well,
so disappointed
right.
that I had to go get another drink.
Well, it's going to be like squad based or team based or the whatever, right? Like, does that kind of change anything? Like, I know you don't like the free for all combat, but
It's essentially Rainbow Six. It's essentially Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not.
but you're on a team though, right? You got a bunch of guys on your team. It's a coordinated effort as opposed to every man for himself type situation, all right?
I'm on a team that I need to get 3 other people involved.
Well, you already got me, which is 2.
Are you playing this? Are you playing this?
I'm very
excited?
curious to try it out, especially if it comes to Microsoft Games Pass. I'm definitely going to play it. All right? Makes it easy.
We didn't even finish Outriders, and you want to play Battlefield.
There's no finishing Outriders. You can get to the level cap, but you can just keep grinding out content, grinding it out for better and better gear, right?
I'm so
like
good.
that never ends.
I'm so good. I'm good. I don't need it.
I'm gonna get you to play a massively multiplayer game at some point in time.
We did Division 1 and 2. We did Outriders.
Yeah. See, that's what I don't get. We played the Division, and you're like, everything's cool. You like the way that's set up. I don't know.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to an actual conference.
Yeah.
Summer Game Fest 2021. Right. Jeff Keighley's baby. His alternative to E3, and he did it just like he does the Game Award. It's just in front of the green screen with the mic talking. I was expecting a little bit more. I was hoping he would sort of make it different than the Game Awards, right? Instead of being in front of the green screen, right? Maybe be sitting down and just do voiceover. But I guess Jeff Keighley, his thing is he likes to do like live interviews on a couch, or obviously can't do that now, but he's more of he likes to be more personable and be in front of the camera. So I was hoping it would be something different, but okay. Even if he was sitting down and like David Letterman, Jay Leno style in front of the the Tonight Show with no audience in the green screen, I was hoping he'd do something different, switch it up.
I mean, it was still high production value, even though it was like a bunch of screens and whatever. Like it was. I thought it was a well put together show, if pretty standard, But
so we kick things off with Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Say that 10 times fast. It's coming early 2022. It's pretty much a game that's based on DLC from the Borderlands 2, right?
That's
I
right.
believe
That's
Borderlands
right.
2?
Yeah, there was a Tiny Tina. As far as I understand it, there was DLC Borderlands 2 where Tiny Tina, which is fan favorite character, so great idea to do a spinoff for her, where she runs a D&D campaign, I believe. I don't know how the mechanics work out within the Borderlands world and whatnot, but that's essentially what this is. And you get some big name actors, right? Obviously, returning favorite Ashley Birch is playing Tiny Tina. Andy Samberg is going to be in this as one of the main characters, and I forget who else they said, but there was somebody else in it. It's going to be a standalone thing, so using the Borderlands engine, the cell shading, but it's going to be fantasy tinge as opposed to like post-apocalyptic, right? That's the thing, and they said. You don't need to have played the other games to play this one, so it stands on its own. But there are nods to the Borderlands universe, so there's that. I mean, it looked super cool. I thought it was a cool way to start off the show. Right? They got the exclusive drop on that. It looks pretty. It's got those nice cel shaded visuals. So I'm up on this.
So it's funny that Tiny Tina's Wonderland is here, right? Because Gearbox had sort of their E3 presentation.
They did.
A little bit later, which we're not going to really get into because there was really nothing. They didn't show a lot of things. They showed Tiny's Tina again. They showed another game that we'll mention later on that was shown at another press conference.
Yeah.
Right. Before Gearbox's press conference, which is so weird because you would think you would want you want to announce the exclusive, like be the first one to announce the games at your own press conference. But
yeah, you wanna big up your presentation before any other presentations. Like that's the idea.
Their presentation was more so to market the movie that's being created. Like they're doing a movie, a Borderlands movie, and Kevin Hart's in it. And it was sort of an awkward exchange where Kevin Hart talks about like hey, this movie's gonna be great, right? I don't know. It just seemed a little weird. He seemed a little out of it.
It was, yeah.
And it felt like Gearbox should have just like partnered up with Jeff Keighley and have those tidbits, the updates to Godfall and the Tiny Tina's Wonderland and other game, like he had Summer Games Fest if that's the case, and have Kevin Hart, talk to Jeff Keighley or something, along those lines. That would have been awesome.
I think that would have been a lot better. Yeah. I am kind of hyped for the movie though. I mean, Jack Black's in it. Which is awesome. I love him as an actor. I think they're really, and they got Eli Roth, horror movie director Eli Roth, who's done Hostel and Cabin Fever and a bunch of other movies. He makes cameos in all the damn who's the guy who did Pulp Fiction? All of his movies. Tarantino. Yeah. Yeah, he makes appearances on the Tarantino movies, so they've got a good crew around it. I'm excited to see what I honestly think the movie because we already had the Tiny Tina Wonderland thing spoiled. The movie bit behind the scenes was the best part of the Gearbox presentation.
It was the only thing of the Gearbox presentation.
Yeah, really. Otherwise
because all they kept doing is talk about the movie and blur out. They kept blurring. I don't know if you noticed. They kept blurring out like the background or people. Right?
Yeah, they didn't want to reveal that much. Yeah. Because Godfall was DLC, so it's not like it's a new game. Here's some extra stuff for Godfall, so it's like ugh. Yeah.
Yeah. All of that. Gearbox should have partnered with Jeff Keighley and put it all in here. That's the way it should have been. If you ask me.
I agree. All
right. Back to Summer Games Fest. They announced a game that I was super excited for until the end, which was Metal Slug Tactics.
I was surprised.
They had the anime portion of it, and I was like, "Oh, it's a new Metal Slug game." And then they showed the gameplay, and it's like a grid-based tactical game. And I was like, "You know what? I'm cool if you give me a skin that I'm interested in with sort of sort of those same the same graphics, right? Like I'm all in."
Oh
but this is only coming to PC.
So far it's on Steam and PC only. It may be Steam exclusive for now. They didn't say anything about the Epic Game Store. They didn't say anything about Stadia, I'll tell you that. So, super hype. I mean, the trailer was a love letter to the fans. They had all the major characters, and they had the call out and the name, and it's Marco, and it's Eri, and I was very surprised. I was very surprised by this announcement.
So, then we got a Among Us update, right? We got new maps, new modes, new outfits, new roles.
They said
I know you were probably hyped for that.
They said new map number 5, and that's all they could say about it because they already put the airship out, which was map 4, and that was a big map. And then this one's probably going to also be a big map. Up to 15 people now, which is awesome. 10 was the cap before. Hence the airship map, which is built for really 15 people. I love Among Us. It's great. It's a very simple game, pick up and play.
All right, Dave, you're gonna have to explain Among Us to me again, because I still don't know. I haven't played this game. I haven't watched any real trailers of this game. I see the main. I don't know if that's the main player or just a mascot for the game, and I'm just
he's the guy you play or the person you play. Okay, as, yeah.
All right,
or so one of the crew members.
what is Among Us? Is it like a cartoony Division style game, or what is it? Why are people so hooked on this? Why do you like this game?
Okay, so
This doesn't seem like something that you would play.
So like Mafia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like the whole idea is to pretend, if you're the guy, if you're the boss or the underboss or the whatever, right? You want to make sure that you blend in and try and be a civilian or whatever the role is, right? So, Among Us only has two roles. Either you're a crew member or you're an imposter, right? And the imposter is an alien. So your job as the imposter is to go around killing everybody without getting yourself known. And that's essentially the whole entire game. There's like other mechanics, you can kind of like jump into air vents and move around, and there's a discussion portion, right? Just like at the end of every Mafia round, you kind of have to point to who you think is, I think you're the mob boss, or I think you're the underboss, right? So you have to kind of...
It's like Friday the 13th fish, right? Like a one person is the imposter and everyone else is just like regular people.
Yeah. I mean, like in Friday the 13th, you know who Jason is. You just have to avoid Jason. But yeah. So this, you're disguised as a crew member, and you have to do your best to kill everybody, and not get voted off the ship. Or you can also, like during the interrogation portions, you can pin it on other people and get them all kicked off the ship. And if you're still on the ship at the end, then you end up winning. And you can have up to 3 imposters, possibly 4 with now the up to 15 people. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you know what? I'm willing to give this game a try.
Oh, you should. You should.
Okay.
I mean, it's free to play on your phone, so it costs you nothing.
All right. It cost me time, Dave. It cost me time. My time is very valuable.
It's exciting.
But I'll try. It sounds like something I would try. You got me with the getting interrogated and you killing people.
Oh, there's a lot of like espionage. You can totally do like the the lie, cheat, and steal stuff in this game, and pin stuff on other people, which I think is great, because like some people just don't have that. They don't have that personality of like I can't lie. I don't want to kill anybody, right? It's like, no, you're the bad guy. You have to do those things. Otherwise, you're probably not going to win the round. So it's interesting to see people win those in those particular roles. But
all right. So this wouldn't be a Summer Games Fest, or this wouldn't be a Jeff Keighley event if we didn't talk about Kojima, right?
Mm-hmm.
The love this man has for Kojima just knows no end. I mean,
we were waiting. We were waiting for the big thing. Mm-hmm.
So, what are we gonna get from Kojima? And we're getting Death Stranding director's cut announced for the PS5. Apparently, Jeff Keighley didn't even know about this.
Right.
Kojima just said, "Hey, I got a surprise for you. Here's the video.
Yeah, right.
Tell them to play it.
All right.
Play it.
All right. We'll give you 5 minutes on the show. I love you, Kojima. You're definitely gonna come through."
So the thing about the trailer was it was more Metal Gear. It was like sort of like a nod to Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, it was a jab at Metal Gear, the Metal Gear franchise.
Well, you say jab, but I mean, since he's the one that sort of cultivated and created it to what it is, I think it's more of a homage.
Yeah. But he did. Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? So let's go ahead and set the stage, right? It's Norman Reedus' character. I forget his name right now, but it's like him in a top-down view.
FedEx guy.
The FedEx guy, yeah. And he's like, and all the little guards are walking around, right? And they're doing their patterns just like a Metal Gear. And he's like kind of sneaking around. And then he finds a box full of oranges, and he empties out the box, and he like flips it over and turns it into like the camouflage. So that was it. Like that's that. We just saw the Death Stranding characters.
He doesn't really fit, and then he jumps out, and it's like that's totally Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I was expecting Solid Snake to come out somewhere, or a Solid Snake style character to come out somewhere.
Right.
But
here's the thing: we got nothing about what is in the director's cut.
Well, that's
right. We don't know anything about it.
That's the funny thing. Everybody
just know it's coming.
Director's cut. Weren't you the director on the first one? Shouldn't have that been the director's cut?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things don't make it the budgetary concerns or whatever. You know, you have to kind of put stuff on the cutting room floor. So,
well, we know we're going to get more missions, right? Like, that just makes sense because that Metal Gear style trailer seems like we're going to get I would hope more than one mission style, sort of Metal Gear style missions, which
oh, you think?
Kind of makes sense. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I thought that whole entire thing was a goof.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh,
yeah, because
no,
I would be real. Excited for that. Trust me, I would be excited for that. I don't think that's it. I guess I took it differently. I guess I saw it as him throwing up the double deuce, the middle finger to Konami because they own the rights, and they're gonna like, the rumor is they're gonna be doing new Metal Gear games without Kojima, and he's like, nope, that's the old me. Death Stranding is the new me, and this is my new franchise or whatever it is. But
see, I took it totally different. I took it from a positive standpoint, where that's, that's his baby, right? That's his oldest child, and he just got through a bad divorce, but he still loves his oldest kid. He's terrible. I mean, it's sort of a morbid analogy, but like that to me, I think it from a positive standpoint, where he's doing an homage to his first baby, right? So I think we're gonna get Metal Gear style missions.
I think that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah.
I think they did say somewhere in one of the interviews that we're gonna get some of that haptic feedback on the DualSense.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. This game was made for the DualSense controller.
That just heightens the experience. When you're climbing up the mountain, you're gonna really feel those rocks. You're gonna feel the sway of the packages. Like that's gonna be awesome. All right.
So I think this was like one of the big highlights for me. Right. Like I really like this in Metal Slug Tactics, even though it's PC only for now.
Yeah.
Watch it be PC exclusive for 3 days, and on the Nintendo Direct they'll show it.
I think eventually there's going to be an announcement. Yeah. It may be at the Nintendo Direct. You may be right. It's made for it.
So after that, we got Overwatch 2. Man. We got a trailer for Overwatch 2 5v5, new character designs, right?
So the big thing is the 5v5 because 6v6, I believe, was the previous, and it may not seem like a lot on the surface. Oh, you're just going down to like 5-player teams. Completely changes the dynamic. Some fans aren't about it because they built all their skills up around 6v6 with the different roles, right? There's 2 assault, 2 support, 2 medic, or whatever the good combination is, right? And it, going down to 5 kind of changes a lot of things. So I'm not an Overwatch expert, so I don't claim to know, but I know that it's a big shakeup. And then they did do, most of it was like talking about the new character designs. That was really what they were. How do we update these characters? How do we make them more modern but still feel like those characters? And then they showed, I think, like 1 or 2 new characters, which were kind of cool, but yeah, not a ton of info about it.
So when we did the rundown, you first told me about this. Well, I didn't say anything, but all I was thinking about was, who cares if it's 5v5? Like, it's the same thing. 6 people, 6 versus 6, or versus 5v5. Who cares? But to take it to a world that I know a lot about, basketball, which is 5v5, right? 5 players on a court. What if you took a player away? Now you don't have a center, right?
Exactly.
Center away. Now it's
you take away the point guard or the forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dynamic changes.
Changes the dynamic totally. So now I can better understand and feel their pain. Where now this is like, honestly, this is like adding a 3-point shot in basketball, right? Like when they did that, it changed the game. Yeah. Now people are shooting long range shots, and there's been a lot of talk about putting a 4-point shot in the game, which I hope they don't do.
From half court? How far back would that go?
It wouldn't be half court. It'd be like a couple of more feet from the 3-point shot.
Right.
So
well, that's it's interesting.
All those shots that Steph Curry be shooting be 4 points.
Oh man, There you go. You know, you'd certainly get a whole nother breed of player out of the game, right? You get like the long shot guy, right? Larry Bird plus.
So and everybody scoffs at that, but people scoffed at the 3-point line, at the 3-point shot. They're like, "Oh, that's just a gimmick. Come on, you got to go to the hole. You got to take it to the basket."
Oh, right? You're 100% right. Everybody hates change, and then when they actually get used to it, and then whatever, and then it becomes the norm, and then when they go, "Hey, now it's going to be 4v4," they're going to go, "No!" when Overwatch 3 comes out. So
I still don't get why. I still don't get why hockey only has 3 quarters. Why can't they have 4 quarters like everyone else?
Well, they don't have 3 quarters. They have 3 periods. Because 3 quarters does not make up a whole hour. That's why they don't have 3 quarters.
All right, 3 periods. Why don't they have 4 periods?
Well, then they'd have 4 quarters.
Okay, that's what, there we go.
Answer.
I still don't get what's a hat trick. You get 3 goals. How's that a hat trick? Where's the hat portion?
Three goals by one person. I think maybe the birth of that is people would throw hats on the ice. So you get a hat trick when you get 3. I don't know. Maybe I think I may have heard that at some point.
Somebody told me it was like a magician trick, right? It's something that's not done all the time, which is
that also makes sense too. Yeah. I mean, it's the same in soccer. Soccer's have hat tricks, or soccer games have hat tricks, but it has to be 3 goals by one person. That's the trick. All right, that's the magic.
Why don't they just say 3 goals by one person? I don't get it.
That's a mouthful. I don't understand.
Just say 3 goals by one person.
Okay.
Listen. If Steph Curry shoots 3-pointers in a row, they don't say that's a hat trick, and that's not easy. They
would say he's on fire, though. They would say he's on fire.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They would make some comment about it.
Yeah, he's burning the house down. He's on fire. I get that.
What's a triple double?
What do you mean? What's a triple double?
Tell me, explain what a triple double is.
Double digits in 3 different columns.
Why don't they just say that?
It is, but technically
it's shorthand. It's shorthand.
Technically, I know, but it makes sense though. It's triple.
The same with the hat trick.
Categories.
It's a magic trick.
Listen, okay. In 3 different categories, you get double digits. Okay.
Yeah.
Triple, double.
Why don't they call that a hat trick? That's magic. Or just say double digits.
Okay. How about this? Triple goal. That makes sense. It's 3 goals by one person. He hit a triple.
Okay, you go ahead and tell the NHLPA and FIFA that you need to get your announcers on board with this new lingo, and we'll see how that goes.
Yes, everybody around the world has to come with me in unison and say triple goal, triple G. There we go, triple goal.
Oh my God, this guy.
It makes sense.
I think you need to go back to the drawing board, Dan.
A hat trick makes no sense. I'm sorry. All right, let's talk about Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're doing a games podcast.
This was totally obvious. And we both dropped the ball on that, right? On our predictions episode last week.
Well, I didn't drop the ball. It was a layup with nobody on the court. I'm like, this is too easy. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. It's like because we knew Jeff Goldblum was going to be at Summer Games Fest.
The rumor was there was a new Jurassic Park game, right?
Like he's not doing The Fly. He's not doing a Portlandia video game, right? He's not doing Earth Girls Are Easy. It's gonna be Jurassic Park.
If he's gonna be sort of like a presenter or something at a video game convention, and there's a rumor that a Jurassic Park game is coming out, we should just put 2 and 2 together. Jeff Goldblum did announce, he revealed Jurassic World Evolution 2, which was nothing like we said that the Jurassic Park game that we wanted.
Right, exactly. We speculated on all that stuff, but this is it's not a surprise because the last Evolution game was a sim park builder, and they even made one. They even made one during the PS2 era, right? So it wasn't the first time they did a sim park builder like a zoo tycoon with dinosaurs. So
But it also
hopefully,
sucked.
yeah. But I mean, it's a good idea
it.
though.
You got panned, and I think
Whether
it was like an Xbox
whether it's bad or
exclusive.
not is irrelevant. To me, it's a good idea. I think they could do something good with it. I don't know if
What's
it's
a
a
good
new
idea?
developer.
You know what's a good idea? Putting Jeff Goldblum in the third Jurassic World movie. That's the good idea. That
Well,
makes
sure,
sense.
sure. So obviously, this is another game that Dan Robinson is not going to play. But if it gets good reviews, I will definitely try it out. Because I mean, I want to build a dino park and then let all the dinosaurs loose.
Uh,
Just stop everybody. T-Rexes
So-
all day.
so a game that I surprisingly was all about.
Mm-hmm.
The new Evil Dead game, right?
Yeah.
It's more of a this is more like Jason, right? Friday the 13th type of game.
This
Where
is
you guys-
that and Dead by Daylight and all that. The
Yeah.
kind of 1v3 or 1v4. Yeah.
Yeah, and this makes perfect sense for the setting, right? And I think they're rebooting the movie anyway.
Again?
They were, yeah.
For a third time. Well, there you go.
I think they talked about rebooting the movie when they should have just maybe make a TV movie to sort of end, because the TV show was great.
Ash
3
versus Evil
seasons,
Dead.
I think it was
Yeah,
3 seasons, and they ended it with Ash in the future for some. He was in the past, and they ended it with him in the future.
Right. Yeah.
And I would have loved to see Ash in sort of a cyberpunk world, horror world. That would have been awesome.
Oh,
And I
wow,
think they
yeah.
should make a movie about that.
Walking around with the chainsaw arm in like Cyberpunk 2077. Oh my god.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So the thing that surprised me is that because like Dead by Daylight is the other big franchise kind of game, and they do a lot of crossover stuff, right? They'll get whatever. I think they got Pyramid Head in there and a couple. I think maybe like Freddy is in there and a couple other characters. I would have thought, and the easy way to go about it is just license out Ash. Make him a guy that you can play as in the Dead by Daylight world. But they decided no, we're gonna do our own thing with that same 4v1 setup. And you're right, it looked cool. It looked super cool. I was excited when I saw the trailer.
All right, what's this next game that you wanted to talk about? Like, I don't even remember this game.
It was towards the end. The Anacrysis.
The Anacrysis.
The Anacrysis, I think. So it's like a Left 4 Dead game, but it's kind of a little third person top down, and you get your crew of like 3 or 4 people, and you're on this 70s style sci-fi spaceship, right? Everything's kind of like orange and whatever, rounded edges. And you're just killing aliens or zombies or whatever's on the ship. But really, like the style got me. That was the thing about it. So there's another game that's coming out. The Left 4 Dead kind of spiritual successor and all that. So it's gonna have some competition. But it looked pretty good from what I saw.
The zombie era just won't die.
Zombies are eternal, man. Come on.
It just won't die. We said we have nothing but zombies. I mean, it's. I thought we were past that. I thought we were past the zombies.
Never.
I thought we were getting
No.
to something.
Zombies
different.
as a genre.
Cyberpunk. I thought this was the cyberpunk era where we would give zombies a rest for a minute, right? Give it a rest, a couple of years.
We did. I think. No, I mean, I thought there was a period where
we got
it's
zombies.
just always zombies. Yeah.
No, zombie. Ever since the new Dawn of the Dead movie, it was just like zombies just never.
Oh
went anywhere
yeah,
for the
that's
last,
right.
like,
That's right. It
14
kind of brought them all back from the dead.
Yeah. So speaking of bringing things back, what brought my attention back to the Summer Games Fest is how they ended it, and they ended it with one more thing, and it was something that everyone's been waiting for. Everyone's been asking about. I mean, they haven't seen it since like 2018, I think, or 2019, 2019. We haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah.
It's Elden Ring.
Yep.
It's finally here, and it's being released. We got a release date.
Yeah. Finally, something that J.R.R. Martin is involved in is getting released. Because they said that was like one of the big draws is that he's going to be like a writer and a consultant on the game and all that. And I'm like, all right, awesome. But what about like the Game of Thrones books? And those maybe not being finished. Who knows?
Well,
But,
he's working. He's making like the world. Like he's writing like the lore.
yeah.
World, but the devs are doing the sort of the in-game story elements. But he's just like creating the world that they're in.
Yeah.
So and he does make a great world, right? Like he
does.
knows how to
He
make
does.
sort of like a universe. So that's exciting. But it's coming out January 21st, 2022.
Right. Right after the holidays. Yeah.
Right after the holidays, it's the second game I think we got confirmation for as far as a hard release date, because I think one of those Pokemon spin-off games it's coming out like a week later.
Oh, right. Yeah. So this is going to take the crown.
January.
This is going to take the crown for the first big non-shovelware title of 2022.
2022.
We got to give it that award. Yeah.
So
now it is a From Software game, right? That you're burying the lead. It's a From Software game, so we know it's going to be a Souls-like, and it's going to be balls hard. That's where I have to say, I don't know if it deserves my $60.
You mean 70?
Probably, yeah.
Well, it's coming out. It's coming out for current gen and last gen. So it's 60 if you want to buy it on a PS4.
Right.
But I will say, I will pick this up not day one, maybe day 500, right? And I'll get it for the PS5, and I'll sit it right next to Demon Souls Remastered, and they can both sit there sealed on my bookshelf.
I mean, hey, at least you can say you have them in the collection.
Yes. So with that said, let's take a break, and we come back. We're going to finish off our day one coverage with the Day of the Dev showcase and everything announced at Devolver Digital Showcase. And Ubisoft. Almost forgot about them. And trust me, you might want to.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
And we're back. All right, let's continue E3 show number 1. All right, let's dive deep into Day of the Dev showcase. That was right after Summer Games Fest.
Yep.
And they had one of my most anticipated games. I was waiting to see if we were going to have this at one of the presentations. Axiom Verge 2.
Yep.
It looks amazing. I've been waiting for this. I just want it now, right?
I know you do, Dad.
I was a little disappointed because the last time we saw Axiom Verge 2, they said it was epic. It was a epic exclusive, right? So they didn't say anything else.
That's
just
right.
Epic exclusive.
That's right.
But they did reveal that it will be coming out for the PS4 and PS5. So I have to get this.
You're good to go.
I have the original Axiom Verge for the PS4 digitally because I beat it when it was a digital game, and I bought the physical edition for the PS4. I bought the physical edition for the Vita. Then I went and bought the physical edition for the Switch, and then I went and bought the physical edition for the Wii U. It was like one of the last Wii U games. It was the only limited run Wii U game. Funny enough.
That's right. Well, yeah, because they effed up. Well, there was a lot of issues with that, and they were basically like, "All right, we're gonna put this game out because we said we're gonna do it." Which was
but they said they would put out
crazy.
other Wii U games, right? They were like, "Hey, we're putting Wii U games out now." Which
Well, they said that because they
was
thought the
looking
Wii
forward
U
to.
was going to be supported. They assumed that Nintendo wasn't going to be putting the Switch out, and then they're like, "Oh God, it's the end of the Wii U."
Yeah. So,
But yeah, man.
I love this game. We have a new protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
There's a new. We've seen mostly an ice themed environment, right?
Mm-hmm. It looks very different than the space alien motif.
New weapons, right? They look pretty awesome. I don't want to know anything else about this. I just want to play.
Oh.
I'm ready for it.
Well, I think
Dave, my body is ready
body's
for
ready.
Axiom Verge.
Body's ready.
My body is
I think
ready.
I think the other big thing that I thought was really cool, which was in the presentation, is that you do not need to beat any of the bosses.
Ooh.
You can
Okay,
skip.
don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore. Don't
You
tell me
can
anymore.
skip.
I don't want to know anymore.
Yeah, so I mean, like the thing there is, you're like, well, then there's no challenge in the game. And it's like, well, you don't beat the boss, you miss out on a special power up or whatever it is. So it's kind of a risk reward type thing in a way, right? If you want to put the effort in to beat this boss, you'll get rewarded for it. Or if you're having a tough time, like I ended up having a tough time on the damn B boss in the first one, and I like almost broke my controller over it. You can just skip it if you don't want to do it, or if you get hung up.
I had no real issues with any bosses other than the last boss. The last boss really gave me a tough time, but I toughed it out. I beat it, and I almost 100%ed the game. There's just 2% of the map I cannot find.
Yeah, you missed that one square. You missed that one square.
It's just 2%, right?
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's pissing me off. I hope they don't have that in this game.
Well,
I hope it's not.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like this. Okay, so it's like this. I don't even think we were doing a show at the time. I could be wrong, but it was like the sky, right? Like there were ways where you had to jump and use the swing, where you would jump and swing, jump and swing, jump and swing. Just as soon as you're in that area, you've unlocked that part of the map, right? And there's some obtuse place, some corner that I missed somewhere. That I'm at 98%. Is like 2%, which is probably just 2 blocks that are next to each other.
Right.
I missed, and I didn't 100% the map, and that's what drove me crazy. So that's what drove me crazy. Not no boss. I can skip the bosses.
Well, you got to be Yeah. Well, you got to be
close
excited
from 100% of the map. Yeah.
Right. Well, you got to be excited. You got to be excited about this boss skip thing, right? Because you always say, "I'm a grown man gamer. I don't have time. I just want to go through and enjoy the game." So even if the bosses do in fact turn out to be easy, there is a chance that someone could get hung up on it, but they're still able to enjoy the story. So I kind of think that's nice.
It's a double-edged sword, because if I want 100% the map, I'm probably going to have to go into the boss area.
You're going to have to beat those bosses. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if they have that same option in part 2, right? Because they may not have that option in part 2 as far as like 100% in the map. So we'll see.
Yeah.
A game that should have been this is the game that should have been at Gearbox's event, right? Phantom Abyss. This was shown at the Devolver Digital as well. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's produced by Devolver Digital. Day of the Dead.
Oh, okay. This is the Devolver Digital game. Okay, I thought this was the Gearbox game.
No. This isn't that one. But it's basically you get to play as Indiana Jones. And the way that it works is the tombs are procedurally generated, and it's like a gauntlet. So you're basically like Indiana Jones trying to get the idol, right? And he's kind of going through the temple and running through all the traps and all that. And the genius part about it is you only get one chance at each temple. So if you die, you're locked out of that temple, and then you have to keep moving. And once somebody gets the idol or the treasure or whatever it is and gets out of the temple or the tomb, that temple is locked, and you can't play that variant or whatever it is. So that's kind of neat. And as you go through, you'll see the ghosts of other people running through the level. So, you'll be trying to beat their time or see what they're doing. And, you can maybe see them die off in the distance and go, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go this way and swing over here. So.
Oh, it's like, sort of like, you remember the the Miiverse, right? And the Wii U, when before they canceled it, you would die in certain levels in Mario or whatever, and you'll see all the Miiverse comments. This is where everyone started dying and put comments down that.
Right.
And it was supposed to be where they would they die, maybe say something helpful to the next person, right? Where like you got to double jump or you got to do this, and people would just put up, so they wouldn't put up anything helpful. They put up like stupid comments and stuff that Nintendo had to take down.
Right,
so
right.
It didn't exactly work out the way they wanted to, but okay, I can see that. That could be pretty cool, right? You could see where other people have failed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed 2 Point Campus.
Yeah, 2 Point Campus, the successor to 2 Point Hospital. I was going to say spiritual successor, but it's made by the same company. 2 Point Campus, where it's kind of a sim builder, where you get to build your campus, and you have to deal with the teachers, you have to deal with budgets, you have to deal with the students, make sure everyone's happy, build a nice big thriving campus, right? Just like in 2 Points Hospital. Has a great kind of cartoony art style to it. Super cool. Glad they're kind of continuing the franchise out. Not really too much to say because I haven't really played the first one, but it looks super cool and people seem to be about it. So I think this one's going to do pretty well.
No, you know what people are about?
What's that?
As soon as I saw it, I knew you would be about this. Loot River. I knew you would like that game.
Yeah, man. They mentioned
Action
Tetris.
roguelike. They
mentioned Tetris in the description.
It's an action roguelike game, and I knew you would like it. I'm not the biggest roguelike fan, right? Returnal definitely a game that I like, but then I hate because of that roguelike stuff. Not feeling. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the world changing. Just give me the same world so I could figure out how to make it through. So, but this game definitely top down, looks super cool. But I think don't we have enough of these style games, right? Like,
no.
I mean, it look cool, but don't we? I think we do, man.
That's like saying, don't we have enough first person shooters? It's a genre.
Yeah, sometimes cool off. It's just like sometimes just like zombies, just cool. Let it cool down a little bit, do something different, and then come back with it. And it'll come back.
That's more thematic, right? It could be aliens, it could be zombies, it could be pirates, it could be monsters. That's just the theming of the matter. But I don't know. I don't get sick of roguelikes. The cool thing about this is you can move the platforms around, right? You play as kind of like this like hooded ninja guy. And, you're killing enemies, you're kind of moving around, dodging bullets and all that. And you can move the platforms around to your advantage, right? So that's where, like, the Tetris part comes in. And you can kind of move the platforms in a way that kind of funnels the enemies into, like, okay, well, now I'm only facing one guy at a time because they have to follow this path because I made, like, all the different platforms kind of form this funnel, right? So I was like, okay. You got my attention. I was very curious. So, I'm definitely going to keep some tabs on it. We'll see how it goes.
So after that, we have the Devolver Digital event. Okay. Now, Devolver always puts out the most interesting type of E3 presentations because it's interesting. That's the best way to describe it, right? It's out of this world. It's out of this world.
I mean,
it's always over the top.
Yeah.
It's always this over the top story that has an underlying theme.
Well, yeah. So they've had a narrative for the last like 4 or 5 years, right? This kind of through line for all their stories, and they get all the employees involved, and there's like this like kind of this like weird overthrow, and then they got people strapped to chairs and they're cutting people up, and it's all surrounding all of the games.
I thought last year was awesome when she got all blood on her face and she did that and well, not last year, but the year before, the ending monologue with all the blood all over her face. That was super. And the year before, I think she lost her memory or something like that, and they cut her arm off, but it was all a dream. It wasn't real. It's always something interesting with them, and I look forward just to seeing how over the top they could do. What they could do, right? And they had a theme to the show, mocking games as a service.
Oh my God.
Devolver Max Plus.
Yep. Yep, this was fantastic. They made a whole website surrounding it, the Devolver Max Pass Plus. All right, it was a whole big thing. They were just like, hey, isn't it great that people get to pay $15 a month for this reoccurring service that they never end up playing any games on? It's like every single one of Devolver Digital's games, you can get them digitally. You pay the price once, and that's it. Oh.
Yeah, Sorry, Microsoft. We don't need Games Pass. We can just buy the game once and we'll have it.
I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, I've got Games Pass. I got Xbox Gold. I've got Netflix. I've got Hulu. I got Amazon Prime. Hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Rewind.
I think I've seen everything on Netflix at this point during quarantine.
Do you still have a subscription?
I still have a subscription, and every time there's a new movie that comes out,
case in point.
Every time there's a new movie that comes out, I'll watch it right away. I think I've seen everything on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. See, that's the problem.
Everything.
That's the problem. They get you because it's so hard to cancel. But they did actually show some games.
They did
after their whole big kind of intro. Yeah.
But most notably, the game they didn't show was no Hotline Miami 3.
That's right.
Which they're the ones who teased. So
they teased it. They trolled the internet. They bought it hook, line, and sinker.
They trolled it. I brought it too. I was waiting for. I just bought the Hotline Miami collection 1 and 2, the Japanese version for the Vita. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't wait for this. But I think this is, even though they didn't show it, they definitely were trolling us. But I think it's definitely in the works.
Oh, 100%.
I'll put it that way.
100%. 100%
so,
in the works.
But a game they did show that I was super interested in was this Trek to Yomi.
Yeah, Trek to Yomi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sort of a side-scrolling black and white samurai game.
Mm-hmm.
That looked super. You want to talk about? Do we have enough of these games? No, we don't have enough of these games. This is the game.
See,
this is the game. This is a Dan game, right?
Yeah, I mean it was super stylized. It had a lot of charm to it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm in on this game. I don't know if they gave a release date for it though, did they?
A 2D samurai game, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's coming out. They gave a window in 2022.
Okay.
So it's not coming out just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely want to hear more about this.
Oh yeah, same.
Right. So. Then they had another game, Inscription,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
From the creator of Pony Island and The Hex. So this was more your style game. I knew you would enjoy this.
I was intrigued by it because it's a deck building roguelike.
Yeah, I know you love those.
Escape room puzzle game in a psychological horror motif. So there you go. There was like a board that you kind of look down on. There's a little card battling thing that you do. There's weird puzzles that you have to solve to get out of the room. So yeah, man, I don't know, but it looks super interesting. So they have my attention, and it's coming out later this year. I think around Christmas time or fall, maybe. 2021. So don't have to wait too long for this game.
They showed off Phantom Abyss, game that showed off the Day of the Devs. So we got that again.
Yeah, and the same footage and all that. Like they didn't show anything new. Didn't get any in-depth stuff on it.
This is where they should have shown Hotline Miami 3. Just saying.
Right? It's not ready for prime time yet.
Not ready for prime time. But you know what was ready for prime time?
Mm-hmm.
Special reserve game. Because they put out the physical, they made an emphasis to say Demon Throttle, an NES style presentation trailers. Definitely an old school style game. I love it when she said you can get this physically one time if you're lucky enough to get it. Special reserve games, or you could spend triple the price on eBay if you're not lucky enough to get it at a time. So she did trigger me. I got triggered by that. So I had to go out and I bought it. I did go out and pre-order it.
Yeah. So after you told me that, I went out and pre-ordered it too. So I got a copy coming. Mm-hmm. God, it looks so good. It was all like, I know. At the end of the day, I don't think it's going to have the VHS style visuals, but they definitely had that, like it was an old, Nintendo commercial from back in the day, and it's cool. It looks just like Gunsmoke or like King's Knight, right? But like a good version. Well, Gunsmoke was pretty good. King's Knight was terrible, but yeah,
sorry
super
for all
cool.
the King's Knights fans out there. You can at Dave at Rated.
Dude, it's a terrible game. The gameplay mechanics are terrible, and
Listen,
right off the bat,
Try
when you first start playing the game, and your character dies, which is going to happen, you've immediately lost the game. You actually can't beat the game.
I try not to take advice from someone who doesn't like Fable. I'm sorry. I just don't know how that's possible.
No. It's not that I don't like Fable. Fable is a bad game with bad game mechanics.
See?
That is proven, Dan. That is proven.
That's what I'm talking about.
King's Knight is a bad game with bad game mechanics. That is objectively true. All right.
See?
I also don't like the game for other reasons, but I mean I think it's visually beautiful, but that's not the point. It's got bad game mechanics in it. I'm sorry.
All right. And now the next Saturday morning retro, I picked up King's Knight and played it until.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You're gonna be upset with it.
Okay. You know what? I'm upset we didn't get Hotline Miami 3. That's why I'm upset.
I know.
So they started really the show off with this game, but I wanted to end it with this game because I think this was the best game they've shown at the presentation. That was Shadow Warrior 3.
Yeah.
All right. It looked totally different than the original Shadow Warrior game. I actually do own that for the Xbox One.
That was just a Duke Nukem clone at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't think Shadow Warrior 2 even had a physical release. I could be wrong about that.
They did.
It did.
Because I took a look at the Special Reserve Games website, and they have it as a physical. Well, they had it as a physical release.
They had it. Okay, so now it's like $200 on eBay.
Yep.
Okay, see.
So good luck. Good luck trying to find it.
Well, good luck trying to find it for a decent price.
Yeah, I'm not too
Shadow
crazy.
Warrior 3.
Not too crazy about the Shadow Warrior world. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Yeah, it just doesn't grab me. I mean, like, it certainly looked pretty. I think they had a good trailer for it, but it's just
Like
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
A futuristic samurai game. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
As long as they tighten up those mechanics and give me an interesting story. I'm definitely all about it.
Yeah. It's it's certainly interesting, and they did do a big left turn and kind of change from what the original was, but I think that's for the better. Yeah.
All right. So, someone who didn't take a left turn and stayed the course of doing what they always do every single year for E3, that is Ubisoft.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what you were expecting, Dan.
I was expecting not to be dozing off, which I did during the middle of the presentation.
Oh my god.
And the beginning of the presentation, but they did end it on a good note. So, Ubisoft, they drove home yet again that their focus is monetization and games as a service. Everything has a service. We know Ubisoft is trying to push that Ubisoft subscriptions.
Oh, there was that too. Yeah, that was a new thing. They're like, hey, you can sign up and play all the, the Far Cry games online, or play all the Assassin's Creed games, or whatever it is. It's like, ugh. Don't need another service. I will say this. They did finally put the Wii out to pasture. We finally got a Just Dance game that's not coming to the Wii. Oh.
So I don't have to sit here and spend $60 on a brand new Wii U game.
15-year trend, right? Because it was 2006 when the Wii came out. Their 15-year trend of an annual Just Dance game. And Dan is dancing because he has to spend $60. I don't know.
Finally
the game he's never going to play.
They stopped for the Wii U and still gave it to the Wii.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can play the Wii games on the Wii U, so it kind of.
I know, but I mean, still, it's just the principle that they didn't make it for the Wii U anymore. They still made it for the Wii, which is
holding
incredible.
up a console that's over 2 generations old. Crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Wii came out, and and Sony was talking about Ridge Racer, right? Like that's how long they've been putting out Just Dance games.
Oh
for
my
the
God,
Wii.
I know the best E3 presentation ever. Oh,
Yeah.
you could fight through historic battles. Oh, look, there's a giant enemy crab. I love it.
I remember.
It was
Yeah.
a shit show.
Yeah.
Sony's definitely gotten better since then.
So, yeah, the console's gonna be like $600, which is like paying $800 now, right, or something along those lines.
$800, like $1,000. Yeah.
I don't think inflation's been that.
I don't know. I mean, it's at least
much?
$800. It's at least
$800.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but they really started off. They really wanted to hit home that Rainbow Six Extraction looked cool, just like Battlefield. Not interested.
See, I don't know why. It's you get a small crew of people. It's just like The Division. You know, me and you and somebody else.
And then a
can
random 12-year-old who, if I miss a shot, is gonna say, "Screw me and my mama."
No. We can find somebody else to play in it. But I mean, essentially, what the game is you go through a facility, you go through different levels, and you can tap out at any point in time to say, "Okay, I'm done at this point." The further you go, it's kind of a risk reward thing, which is like kind of cool. And you basically have to go through and take out this enemy infestation. I believe they were like aliens, some weird creatures or whatever. And it was cool. There was a lot of cool abilities going on, and you know, you can kind of snipe and shoot, and you can break down walls. That was kind of cool. Like, you know, there was a thing where they shot a wall and you could see through the other side. But
I remember. I don't know how long ago it was. Remember there was an E3 event when they showed Rainbow Six, and it was. You can put C4 on the wall and blow the wall up, and you can walk through the wall and grab. And it was like, oh, you can blow the wall up. Oh,
right? Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the whole draw of Red Faction. That was the same thing.
Yeah.
You could bust through walls, right? It's a hard thing to do, you know, because they're structural walls. So what do you do when you blow all the walls up?
The whole house, the whole building comes down.
It's supposed to, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely a little hyped for it, but
and then Ubisoft continued the trend of games that I don't care about. That really, you know, this is the bathroom break for me, or go make some popcorn. You could talk, you know, and this was already leaked too, so we knew this was going to be there. Like, learn guitar with Rocksmith Plus, right? Now it's turned into a subscription service. And they really touted that you can use your phone as a mic now, which I don't know how important that is, or you know, to people who want to learn guitar.
I think it's super important because, I mean, you don't want to have to buy like thousands of dollars of equipment just to learn how to play guitar. So
yeah,
the fact that
listen,
you know, because you have a phone already. So
I'm not saying I'm not poo-pooing the game. I guess really it's a game to learn how to play guitar. And that's super cool for people who want to learn how to play, right?
Yeah,
like I'm.
It's
all
apparently
for it.
really good. Yeah.
And you know they have they have lots of songs, thousands of songs, right? Like from artists that you know or bands that you know, and you know they made it into a service. Which, honestly, if you think about it, just logistically, it makes sense that you just use it as a service instead of buying it as like a one-time game.
Right, because then it's like the licensing fee is totally different. You've only got, you know, 30 or 40 songs. Yeah. I mean, this like 100% makes sense. And it's apparently a very good product. Like the first Rocksmith, everybody seemed to really enjoy who tried to use it. And this is just kind of like a, you know, the plus version of it now. So.
And a part of me is like, why even show it here at E3 then, if that's the case? Like, put it out.
Well, I mean, it's... Yeah, I mean, it is less of a game and more of a learning tool, but yeah.
Yeah, who's hyped for this? I would be posting this at like Guitar Center or you know, schools and stuff like that.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think there's a cross section of people who like to play instruments and also like to play video games.
Oh, I know, but where those two things meet, right? Is this where like the person who's been dying to learn guitar didn't hear about Rocksmith? They
Well, I
never heard
mean,
about
it's the only time that Ubisoft is putting on a conference, so otherwise it'd just be a YouTube thing and go like, here you go, here's our other presentation, you know. But
Well, they're gonna put
I
out
guess,
a Ubisoft Forward again. They said look out for our next presentation.
yeah,
They
yeah,
did like a smaller presentation for stuff like this.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they had the games of service, right? Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We got an update for that.
Mm-hmm.
That looked okay. That looked cool. I would rather get the definitive edition with all this stuff already included.
Yeah.
I do want to get back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It definitely was one of the best ones. I think Origin is still for me the best.
Wow.
And maybe that's
Origin.
just the
Yeah.
setting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I put more time in Origins than anything.
Right. Right.
They got Riders Republic.
Yeah, this was interesting. We got a good, what looked to be a good snowboarding / BMX / hand glider or wingsuit game, right? So there was like 3 or 4 different extreme sports involved in this.
Yeah. Well,
But,
let's see how much they support it, like they did Steep, which they abruptly shut down, right? I don't think we never got the Switch version. We never got all the big promises. They shut that down for whatever reason.
And that looked really cool too. It looked like a good a fun snowboarding game. But this is definitely dependent on a strong community because you're playing with a bunch of other people. It's all kind of like you're going like head to head against a bunch of people, trying to like carve out parts of the snow and tag them as like your thing or your team's thing, and that's kind of how you win like certain events. Or when you're doing the BMX thing, you're going head to head with a bunch of people. So you're right. I mean, the community is really going to make or break this. And then if the community is strong, hopefully Ubisoft will continue to support it with like more content and contests and tournaments and all that. But you're right. It may fall the way of Steep. I'd be very upset. Yeah.
They touted a lot, and this made no sense to put. If you're going to start the conference, at least start the conference off with this, right? Or have a separate conference. Put this at the Netflix. Netflix had their own conference, right? I guess it's not going to be on Netflix. That's why.
So they couldn't have it at the Netflix conference.
But put this somewhere else. But you know what? You know where you could put this? This would be a perfect place. How about this? How about this? We have this thing in San Diego every year, Comic-Con. How about that? You put it at Comic-Con.
It's not a comic movie though. It's not a comic property. It's a
lot of things at Comic-Con aren't comic book properties, right? I mean, they just showcase movies. They showcase movies and TV
that
shows
are based off comedic properties or comic properties.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
I mean,
well, technically, if you want to get technical, this is based on a game. They did say I think
it
the
is.
joke was
No, it is. It is. Yeah. It's based off
a game.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Fits right in there with Comic-Con. It's based off a video game. So
wait, so then it fits into with E3. It's a video game property that's also a movie.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
So we're talking about okay.
This isn't Nobody wants to see movies or TV shows during.
You don't want to see movies and TV shows. I was kind of hyped for it. It's the Werewolves Within. This is the thing that we're talking about here. Werewolves Within.
That's the weird. I was gonna introduce it, but that's the weird thing.
I mean, we got to introduce what it is. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna introduce it. I definitely was about it. This just isn't the place for me to see it.
Well, I think bolstered by the fact that it wasn't a strong conference, that also seeing a non-video game movie trailer isn't going to get you hype, right? Because everything else surrounding it was kind of a little bit weak. So that I get. In that case, I get. But we did see a clip from Werewolves Within, and it had the dude from Veep I forget the guy's name, but he was the assistant to Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, and he is hilarious.
His
And
name
he's
is
good
Sam Richardson.
Yes, that's the dude, Sam Richardson. He is a in my eyes, he's a comedy genius. He's got very good timing.
Oh no, he's awesome. No, listen, he's awesome. I like the movie. I like what I saw of the movie, the trailer. It's something I definitely. I mean, it should be on Netflix. I would watch it. It would be top 10 in Netflix, right? Like, I would definitely watch it. But this is. I just don't think this is the place for it to go. And honestly, if you're Netflix, why didn't you scoop this out, right? This movie looks awesome, and it's based on a video game. This brings you into E3, right? So
well, yeah. So I mean, it's coming out in theaters, which was interesting, and then a couple weeks later, it's going to be available for streaming.
Yeah, thinking 3 weeks later, it's going to be available to stream.
Yeah.
As a side note, speaking of Netflix, they did show a little teaser for Splinter Cell, the animated show that's going to be at Netflix. All right.
He was very curious. He was very curious. They didn't have it here. Yeah.
Yeah, you know why? Because they put it where it should be. in the movie.
Werewolves Within is not a Netflix show. It does not go in the Netflix Week of Geeks or whatever thing they got going on. But
you could put this during the Comic-Con or any movies. The equivalent of movies E3. Right.
So did you get to see the Splinter Cell trailer at all, or any of that stuff for it?
I didn't, but I did see that they're putting out a WitcherCon, right? CD Projekt Red and Netflix are partnering up to have a WitcherCon, which is the Witcher beloved that much to have its own con?
People love it. I don't know if it's enough to have a con around it, but people do love the franchise. Yeah. I mean, it started off as a book series, so it's been around for a while.
And we got like a teaser, just like a 5-second teaser for the Witcher season 2. So I gotta believe at WitcherCon they're gonna show actual real trailer for the Witcher season 2.
I'm excited.
All right, back to Ubisoft. We got extended cutscene of Far Cry 6 and gameplay.
Yep.
And I'm sold. I'm not a big Far Cry fan, but I am sold. They try to make the main villain seem evil, right? And in that clip, that scene, I don't want to spoil it. You should go check it out. Go see the new Far Cry 6 trailer. He is evil, right? But you don't ask him that, because the actor who plays the main villain said, he's not a villain. He loves his country. He believes in his country, right? So he's really.
That's exactly what a villain says when they're trying to justify their actions.
Yeah,
I'm doing this for my people. No, you're not.
Yeah, that's what Dave says when he tells me that Super Mario Brothers 3 is the best. He's really.
I'm doing it for my people. No, it is. It is the best game of all time. I'm sorry, Dan. That's a fact.
Totally wrong.
That's a fact.
But the coolest thing that they showed was the season pass. I don't know, how this is gonna work, but you get to play as villains from past Far Cry games and sort of a dream sequence.
You can play as Voss, you can play as Joseph, and you can play as who's the guy from 4? I forget his name, but the weird dude with the blonde hair. Yeah, you go into these dream sequences because everybody's dead more or less, right? Because you kill them in each game. Spoiler, right? The villains go down, and they even kind of remark that, and they're like, "Where the hell am I?" Yeah. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. I'm upset that it's behind the season pass. I wish it was part of Far Cry 6 proper, but this is the way. This is the way of Ubisoft. So.
Yep. All right. So now we got all of that out of the way. This is where you really you got my attention. You got everybody's attention, right? This is when the one more thing or the two more things come into play, and this for me saved it, because without these, this would have been trash on a Dave scale. I'm sorry, but the worst kept secret, just like its predecessor, was announced. We're getting for sure Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Well, Nintendo leaked it.
by accident.
Nintendo leaked it. They put it up on their website with box art, with images, with a description. It's like, well, there you go. And then they immediately took it down because they're like, oops.
So it's true. It's Mario in space.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's basically the Mario Galaxy universe. Yeah, which is cool. So you get to play as Rosalina and the Rabid counterpart, and they have
the
these
stars, right?
Yeah,
stars that are there.
It's the Luma Rabid mix up, and it looks like they gave you like special powers, which is kind of cool. I think I don't necessarily want to speak for you, Dan, but I think we can both safely say that this is probably the game of the presentation, right? This is the one we're most hyped about.
100%.
Yeah, because you were about the first one. You know, it was just the right mix.
I wasn't at first. It was announced. I said, that's cool. I'm not going to play it.
I was saying you got to try it.
It came out that September. I remember it came out that September. You told me I got to try it. I was totally against it, not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It finally got it on discount. It finally, because Mario games or Nintendo games never go on discount. It finally came down. I tried it out, and I was hooked. I got halfway through the game until something else caught my attention. But I definitely am playing this, and I just hope I just hope when they make the third game, it'll be Mario Rabbids plus Super Mario World. It'll be in a dinosaur kingdom.
In a dinosaur kingdom? My God.
Yeah, and we'll get a Rabbids Yoshi.
Yeah, right. I don't know if they're gonna go back that far, but I would definitely play that. I would definitely.
It'll Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. They're gonna crash land into the dinosaur kingdom. At the end, they're gonna crash into a world,
right?
And it'll be the dinosaur kingdom.
Oh,
it'll be on the Switch Pro. It'll be a Switch Pro release. So, but they did end on a definitely positive note, and I think we took two different things from that last trailer, because I took something totally different than you did. They showed the new Avatar game.
Right? Yeah, this was a surprise. Nobody knew this was coming.
Using Ubisoft's Snowdrop engine, which is the same engine they used to make the Division 2, I believe, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Now, you took from this, they make an Avatar game, right? Like this is, and the Avatar movies, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 are supposed to come out in the next.
I don't even know if they're filming or in production right now. Is it done?
No, it's done.
I don't even know. Okay.
He filmed 2 and 3 simultaneously, and he has plans to film 4 and 5, I think, at the same time.
He did it Back to the Future style, right? They filmed 2 and 3 back to back.
Yeah. So it's you took from the Avatar. I took that the engine is looking fantastic. This game looks awesome. Imagine what other games they could use on the Snowdrop engine, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I took from this. Like this is like sort of to me an in-engine demo. In my view, imagine what they could do going forward.
That's very bad for the Avatar game if you take away from it. Wow, that tech is great. Now let's make a good game.
Because to be fair, who cares about Avatar, right?
I agree. You're right. It's the
best. It's the best. It's the biggest movie opening, grossing movie of all time.
It's 12 years old.
Endgame.
12 years old.
It goes back and forth with Endgame, right? They keep talking, they're releasing China is the best. It took number 1 spot again by just a small margin. I don't care. Let's see.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
You know what? I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared for James Cameron, because if he puts out Avatar 2 and it flops, what are they going to do with 3? He already shot it.
It's not gonna flop. The movie's gonna be terrible, but the CG is gonna be fantastic, and that's why you go to see it. You just want it to look pretty. So I get you. Yeah. What can they do with the Snowdrop engine, right? Maybe a Splinter Cell game. It's not gonna happen, but.
So what we do,
and that's what everybody wanted. That's the thing that really irked me, right? And like I know they've said the games as a service thing before, but everybody has come out and said, all the analysts, all the game journalists, the podcasters and whatever, come out and said, they all ask the same question: why is there no Splinter Cell game? It's like, well, there's no way to monetize it. There's no way to get a big division style setup or whatever, playing everyone like kind of sneaking around and this and that, right? The only thing that you can really do is like the spies versus the mercenaries, right? The mode that they had in part 2 and I think part 3 as well. I know Pandora Tomorrow had it, and I think Chaos Theory had it too, a little bit differently. But you can put that in a Rainbow Six game. You can put that in a whatever. You can put that in a Division and have a small battle like that. They're never going to do Splinter Cell again, which is sad.
I disagree. I disagree. I got an early 2022 prediction. We're going to see at E3. It will be their mic drop moment after all the Just Dance and the furry animals and the movies and the TV shows.
People want it, but
they will have a Splinter Cell game that will save the Ubisoft conference in 2022.
Disagree.
It will be there.
Yeah. Fans would love it. Fans would love it, but that's not their MO. That's not their.
And they're gonna find a way to monetize it. Mm-hmm. Right? They'll find a way to monetize it, but it's coming. I guarantee you, it's coming.
Wow. I hope you're right, Dan. I hope you're.
But you know what was missing from this Ubisoft conference? Remember that
quality was quality. Is that it?
Brand new games.
Yeah,
a bunch of brand new games.
Yes. No. You were gonna say.
Remember that Pirates game?
Was it Skull and Crossbones? Was that the one?
Skull and Crossbones. Yeah. What happened to that? That looked cool, right?
Well, you know what happened to that? They realized they couldn't monetize it.
No,
so they took it out.
That's the whole point. They could monetize. That was
no, I know. Yeah. Right? They could have made it like Sea of Thieves.
How bad of development is this? Right? Like we last time we saw it, I think it was in 2018, and we haven't started anything. And they said it's not canceled. So where is this? Where is it?
I mean, maybe next year. I know the pandemic kind of threw everything for a loop, so who knows? Maybe next year. I mean, it looked beautiful. I think we saw it 2 years ago.
What about I almost said Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Well, that I understand because that game is like a super huge scope.
I know, but the creator who we saw like 2018, right? At this point, I think it was 2018. Mm-hmm. He's crying on stage. He retired. He's not even working at Ubisoft making any video games anymore.
Well, he had some scandals. Right? That's why he retired. So it's not like he wanted to be out of the business. He kicked himself out of the business basically by his action.
So are they? It's like what are they doing with this? They haven't announced, and they also said it was still in development. Officially.
Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of have to kind of save face, but well, I don't know. I mean, when you get a different lead guy in charge or girl in charge or whatever,
you get a different vision when you get
exactly, and then that takes time to get everybody on board and ramp up, and that may be another 2-3 years out. Who knows?
So Dave, as we always do, every E3 except for last year, and I think the year before that too. Let's give every presentation a rating grade. Okay.
Well, even the Battlefield trailer.
Yes, even the Battlefield trailer. I'm ready for that. Mm-hmm. Let's give everything a letter grade and explain what that grade means. I'm gonna start because I want to start with Battlefield. Okay. I'm gonna give Battlefield a rating of U for ugly face. Because
explain.
That's the face I made when I saw there was no single player campaign inside.
Made that ugly face.
I made that ugly face.
This guy. All right. Well, I'm going to give it a rating of E for excited. Because I am hype. This looked cool. What? Near future. I mean, look, you don't like multiplayer exclusive games, so I understand why you wouldn't be involved in this. You wouldn't be about it. You're not going to want to play it. But you admitted that it looks pretty, it looks awesome, it looks really cool, and you can do a lot of cool things in it. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Oh no, screw that. I give it the ugly face. That's the face I made. That's the face I made when I saw no single player. Take it away.
So what about the Summer Games Fest? Maybe you'll have a better rating for that one.
You know what? I'm gonna be easy on this one.
You're gonna be easy on it?
They did have Metal Slug Tactics, which I liked. I didn't like that it was PC only, but that's not Jeff Keighley's fault, right? I liked the Death Stranding director's cut announcement with the Metal Gear style trailer, right? That was even a surprise to Jeff Keighley. I love Jeff Goldblum. even though he's announcing a game I'm not interested in, it probably sucks. I love Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, yeah.
Yes. Well, you got to see his
He's
his
a
show
national
on
treasure.
Disney Plus. Yes, he's his show on Disney Plus.
What's the show?
I forgot the name of the show.
I gotta take a look.
It's
All right.
it's different. It's different.
Okay.
You go see that. And they announced Elden Ring, even though I'm not really into that, but I know everyone is. It is a big
Yeah.
name. We saw it at the Microsoft conference like 2018, and we hear anything about it. So finally, people could stop talking about Elden Ring. I was excited for it just because I could stop hearing everybody talk about this game that we haven't heard anything about in 3 years.
Yep. And there you go. There it is. There it is.
I'm gonna
And we got a release date.
I'm gonna give it a G for good enough.
Wow. Don't heap all the praise, Dan. Wow.
It was
this
good
guy
enough.
over here. This
was good
guy.
enough.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it a V for varied because it was definitely very varied. We got a tactics game. We got updates to Among Us. The Death Stranding Director's Cut, which we still know nothing about because it was just a giant cock tease. Right? We got some Overwatch 2 news. We got, like you said, National Treasure, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, but just a hell of a ton of games. We got some kind of AAA big games. We got a lot of indie games. And, stuff that was just all over the place. So,
All right. So okay, on that note, what would you give Day of the Devs Showcase?
you want me to go first on this one?
Go first on this one. I mean, this is essentially an indie game showcase, right?
Oh, it's 100%
Right.
an
And
indie game showcase. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do every single game. We did a fraction of it.
Yeah, there was
standouts for us.
at least 10 to 12 games on there. I'm also going to give this an E for experimentation. Because some of these games that we didn't necessarily talk about, there's one where it's like you play as a father and daughter, or you play as a daughter and you interact with your father in this fishing village, which was kind of interesting. There's one called I think Soup Kitchen or something, or Soup Pot, where you get to make all these Asian style recipes. Yeah, there was just a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of interesting new stuff. Phantom Abyss, it was a little bit more traditional, but it kind of switched up the mechanics of a kind of a Indiana Jones style, adventure treasure game. So, yeah. How about you?
Okay. I give it an I.
4.
It was I.
I'm
going.
Wouldn't that be an A?
No. I'm going straight I. It was I.
IGHT. Wow, this guy super
Yeah.
salty, super salty.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was I.
Okay.
It wasn't all of that. Axiom Verge was the thing for me.
Yeah, and you were still eh.
Yeah, well, we got one game out of 12 that I was really super interested in.
Jesus, this guy.
I didn't really care about the 2 Point Campus. I know about the original game, right? It was 2 Point Hospital, but for college.
Yeah, yeah.
River, an action rogue. As soon as you see that word, I'm out, right? Just like no single player. I'm out. I tap out. Phantom Abyss looked pretty cool.
Okay.
But not a lot of notable games. It was it wasn't boring. I liked, because I almost said boring because, as soon as they started it, they had a lot of developer interviews.
Yeah.
There were people really passionate talking about it.
They
and
got
I liked
deep
the way
into
they did
it.
the sizzle reel. I like the way they did sort of the scissor reel in an interview and they mixed it together. So it wasn't boring, but it was It was
Okay.
So what about Devolver Digital? What would you give that?
I'm gonna let you go first. I'll let you go first on this one. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna give it an S
S.
for super interesting.
Okay. Okay.
It was super interesting. I was wondering what theme they were gonna go for, and I like that sort of that before they got into the games, that sort of ending theme where it was that one shot. It was like 5 different people, right? The camera. And they had one shot, and that's hard to do because if one person screws up, you got to do all that all over again because it was just one shot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they pulled it off masterfully. And I again, Trek of Yomi, Shadow Warrior 3, Demon Throttle. They got me to actually buy a game. See, that's what these conferences are about.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
fair
you
enough.
can buy a
Fair
game.
enough. Yeah,
and I actually bought a game because of the conference that wasn't even on my radar. So I give it an S for super interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little back and forth on what to give this because there's a lot of things you can say about this conference. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with I for
an I one. Okay.
for an impressive feat. Their narrative that they've crafted over the last 5 years is incredible, and they wrapped that around some amazing games. So I got to give them credit. Clap, clap, clap. Okay. It was a good showing.
And
It was a
Ubisoft.
good showing.
And Ubisoft. Oh,
Do I have to give this a grade?
I have so many ratings I want to give Ubisoft.
I got one. I got one.
You got one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All
got
right. Well,
one.
you know what I give it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I give it an F for failure to capture my attention until the end.
There you go. And I'm gonna give it an M for microtransactions, because Christ, or monetization, both microtransactions / monetization, because it was terrible. It was terrible. Every single game, microtransactions, monetizations. Whether they said it or not, you know it's going to be in there, and you know it's going to be egregious. Come on, Ubisoft.
Come on, you think they're EA?
You're the House of Rayman.
EA.
What's
They're
that?
not EA. They're not EA. Come on.
Oh, yeah. No. They are. They are very much on that level. There was like 3 different subscriptions, right? There's the Rocksmith thing. There's
they really want to
Just
build
Dance.
a community.
There's
really
the
wanna
Far
build a
Cry
community.
subscription. Jesus. How many things do I need to get the most out of these games? Can I just not buy the game and get the thing?
They really want to build a community of people who pay them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they want to build a community of subscribers. Jesus.
All right. So that's our show.
Mm-hmm.
Our E3 coverage episode. Well, show number 1. Show number 2. We're gonna do the Microsoft and Square Enix event. Right. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I am so hyped for the Xbox event. This is when E3 starts, really. Like, even before the zombie apocalypse,
Throwing shade.
E3 always started
Throwing shade.
when Microsoft took the stage that Sunday.
You don't give any shine to EA. You're like, nope.
Well, EA
EA was Saturday.
EA usually starts it off Saturday or Friday or Saturday. Ubisoft does. I think Ubisoft usually goes on a Saturday as well, right?
I think they were more Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, they were usually
Monday,
towards
Tuesday?
the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give no shine to EA. No, you're right. I give no shine.
All right, fair enough. Well, they're not even in this week. They're going to be like next month or whatever it is, right?
In the end of next month.
Oh,
but for me, E3 starts when Microsoft shows off, and I can't wait. Now I'm excited. We got all the filler out the way. It's time for the
filler.
steak.
Wow, Dan wants the fireworks. Dan doesn't like the little side puppet show. No, he's not about it. Not about it. But all right.
I had a good appetizer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Microsoft does. I'm looking forward to see what Capcom does. Right? Aren't they the next two?
The Square and Xbox.
Oh, that's right.
Sunday.
Square and Xbox are next. Yeah.
Capcom Capcom is on Monday, right?
That's right.
If I'm not
There's
mistaken.
way too many conferences. Hard.
And Limited Run is on Monday as well.
And then Nintendo.
Tuesday we got Nintendo and Bandai Namco.
Yep. Well, that about does it. That's the first E3 2021 episode in the books. That's episode 274 for everyone keeping track. We want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. And if you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. And also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. You can check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there at gamingpodcastalliance.com if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
Keep gaming.